Sarah closed the heavy oak door to the creaking inn she had checked into. The air smelled of damp wood and something faintly metallic. A storm raged outside, lightning illuminating the long corridor where her room awaited her at the end. The innkeeper, an elderly man with a hunched back and a raspy voice, had given her a key and whispered, "Room 13. If the lights flicker, don't look at the mirror." The cryptic warning lingered in her mind as she twisted the key and pushed open the door. The room was dimly lit by a single lamp on the nightstand. The centerpiece was a massive antique mirror, its frame carved with grotesque faces that seemed to twist and shift in the flickering light. Feeling uneasy, Sarah avoided looking directly at the mirror and instead focused on unpacking. But as the wind howled outside and the room seemed to grow colder, she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. She glanced at the mirror. Nothing unusual. Still, her reflection felt wrong, as if it moved a split second slower than she did. Lying in bed, Sarah tried to fall asleep, but a faint scratching sound pulled her from the edge of slumber. It was coming from the mirror. She sat up, her heart pounding, and saw something moving behind her reflection. A shadowy figure, its hollow eyes glowing faintly red, stared at her. She turned quickly, but the room was empty. When she looked back at the mirror, her reflection was gone. Suddenly, the lamp flickered and died, plunging the room into darkness. Sarah's breath quickened as she fumbled for her phone, but it wouldn't turn on. Then came the voice, a deep, guttural whisper from the direction of the mirror. "You shouldn't have come here." Terrified, she backed away from the mirror, only to bump into something solid. Turning around, she came face to face with the figure she had seen in the reflection. It was tall, cloaked in shadow, with skeletal hands that reached for her. She screamed and bolted for the door, but it wouldn't budge. The figure advanced, its hollow eyes fixed on hers. In desperation, Sarah grabbed the lamp and hurled it at the mirror. The glass shattered and a deafening scream filled the room. The shards glowed with an eerie red light, and the figure dissolved into smoke. The room went silent, but the temperature dropped further. Thinking she was safe, Sarah slumped to the floor, trembling. But then, she noticed the shards of the mirror crawling back together, reforming. This time, the grotesque faces in the frame were grinning widely. Before she could react, hands burst out from the mirror, pulling her in. Her screams echoed briefly before the room fell silent again. The next morning, the innkeeper found the room empty. The bed was untouched and the mirror was pristine. He shook his head and muttered, "Another one for the collection."